Hello everybody, welcome to a brand new Let's Play series in Hearts of Iron for Kaiserreich. Today we're going to play as American Union State, and we're going to be going down the Pelley path. The American 1st Legion, basically, maybe like the worst timeline for the United States. We'll see. But we are starting here February 18, 1937, and we're going to be having a 4-way civil war in just a moment. So, I've skipped over all the introduction. We've seen the beginning of the United States countless times on the channel so far, so there's no reason to even show it. So, here we are, Baton Rouge. We haven't played as the American Union State since they've changed the capital. I know that. I don't know why you're set to garrison. Just have troops on the north. We're not too sure exactly what MacArthur's going to do. Of course, he's couped the government. We have 2 military factories. Very cool. We'll go 2 on rifles for now, and we're going to switch you to being submarines. Like the cheapest submarines we even have. There we go. Their division in training. We should be able to get some units deployed. 2, 4, 5, 6. I think we want to probably just go 6 immediately. No, 7. There we go. You just always want to go with whatever the biggest number is. To get those guys under control. Build more submarines. We have a handful of a handful of factories. Get rid of this. We're gonna build 2 military factories in New Orleans, followed by 1 factory in Florida for now. I think that seems okay. And we want to go for here first. We got the Navy, we got the Air Force, and we got the Armed Forces. I think we definitely want to go Armed Forces for sure. 35 days on this. So our first objective in this campaign is just win the Civil War. I think that seems reasonable, seems understandable. So let's see. We have... who do we have as commanders right now? I'm gonna assign you Field Marshal. We will assign Patton. You don't need to be all the way in Texas right now. I think mostly if you just focus around Tennessee, around North Carolina, we should hopefully push as quickly as we can and kill off MacArthur. I don't know which path he's going to go for. The best situation for us... actually, what is the best situation for us? I don't really know. Riots in New England and New York. Again, that's to be expected. MacArthur has been sworn in as president. To be expected. That should be... 10 free divisions here. Assign into the blue line immediately. Do we want to create an intelligence agency right away? You could. You know what? I will. Before the war even begins. Get that going. Give me my Army and Navy experience. Southern governors of in Baton Rouge. A large crowd recently gathered outside the State House in Baton Rouge to congratulate Huey Long for defying the federal government. Tuesday and chiefs were soon to arrive on the scene when suddenly the crowd began unfurling the battle flag of the old Confederacy. Sensing an impending political disaster, Huey Long had his men confiscate these radical symbols of the Civil War. When the governors arrived, the press only saw the image of the defiant America determined to fight the illegitimate powers of the federal corruption and syndicalist oppression. Governors are now meeting with Long inside the State House to determine a proper response to the federal government's deadline. Well, we're not going to surrender, for sure. Federal control has maintained in Minnesota. The United States Navy has been disbanded. We get a handful of those ships. So give me whatever Navy we can muster. I don't know. How many air units do we have? 315. That's okay. Fly you all over to here. North Carolina is declared the support for Huey Long, and Lindenberg appeals to Long. Charles Lindenberg has arranged a meeting between Huey Long and a number of leading industrialists, including Henry Ford, Fred Cook, and H.L. Hunt. These men are inclined to be close to closer factories and refineries within the South to comply with orders from the federal government. However, they are instead persuaded by Lindenberg to stick with Huey Long and move their business empires into American Union State on a few conditions. They ask that Huey Long guarantee some sort of political exception to them in the dire economic times, as well as promises political office once the war is won. If Long agrees to demands, it will give them greater influence, and many of his supporters are wondering if he plans on betraying his ideals. However, refusing such a time may prove costly. 8 military factories is not even a question. We're going to do that immediately. And the AFB Declaration of Legitimacy. While many other Southern senators were in favor of drafting new amendments on the spot, the urge to retain the legitimacy of the continuous United States prevailed. The AFB Declaration of Legitimacy was drafted in Baton Rouge over the course of a few days, painstakingly listing their grievances with the federal government. This declaration outlined a lack of protection from federal government gave to their citizens, and the role of the state to protect the welfare of the poor. The signatories declare that it is within their constitutional right to organize a militia against tyranny, and that the federal government deadline should not only be ignored, but must be defied. I mean, yeah, getting 8 military factories is pretty good. I'm not too sure when they're going to show up. Longest militia to take control of Tennessee. Conflicting reports of battles between syndicalists and longest militias throughout the state of Tennessee were resolved today when longest militia stormed the state legislature in Nashville. Governor Gordon Browning was taken prisoner, and while federal forces fought for control over the city, it quickly became clear that the militias had a clear advantage. Already, federal forces were withdrawing from the state, conceding control to Huey Long supporters. So, excellent for us. I think that's basically all the land we could get. I mean, we could theoretically, we got southern Texas. But I've got a feeling we should be able to maintain our control in Texas for as long as possible. We've got U7 deployed, which means the next 6 will be in Georgia. Yeah, go with Georgia. Ah, we should have gotten North Carolina first, actually, but, you know, it's a little bit too late for that now. So these 7, we'll put them underneath Fox Connor. You will deploy on this line here. And a chief of staff. The Civil War looming, the fact that we do not have a chief of staff has prompted concern among various politicians and political leaders. Political and military leaders. Thus, they may have Huey Long to appoint chief of staff to win this war. Cheap artillery, or more, you know what, give me that entrenchment. And Federalists have won in New York City. That actually really weakens the CSA. Again, I do think the CSA is our biggest threat. Between anyone that we could really be fighting against. Because, I mean, it looks like MacArthur's trying to go with hold as much territory as possible. Like, they're not going to give up the West. They're not going to give up the East. We're going to try to push away straight into Washington. Purple Army. I mean, if you were just to rush away to Denver, that usually... Denver, Washington, usually will be the capitulation. But I guess they control New York. And they control New Jersey and all of Maine. I mean, it also depends if Canadians want to move into this territory in the future. The American Union State Congress convenes. Through the grapevine, dozens of congressmen have heard of Huey Long's assembly in Baton Rouge. Some came to wish Long well and stayed, others simply to court favor with the revolution. These meetings in Baton Rouge began to take on a congressional appearance, with Coughlin standing as the president of the standing senators. Where the governor growing determination to defy the federal government, and that his lack of willingness to negotiate a civil war was all but certain, large number of politicians have slinked away to the north, though those that remain seem more determined than ever to see victory. Okay, we control Texas. While the state of Texas was firmly declared its allegiance to Huey Long, forces loyal to the federal government have been in hot contention over the control, and battles with militiamen have raged across the southern portion of the state. Governor James Alfred recently held a conference with several southern mayors, and today declared with accord with them has been reached. It would unite to support Long and a proper American government. Okay, Chief of Army, what do we got? More defense, out of supply, division attack. I'm gonna go more defense. We kind of are doubling down on our defensive positions right now, which I think is pretty okay. You should deploy, I think, by 2 more days. So basically tomorrow. There we go. Sign you into purple. And Pelley pledges allegiance to Long. One of the more unusual well-wishers to visit Huey Long was the eccentric but passionate man named William Dudley Pelley. Pelley was the leader of the all-white Legionnaire political and religious social club called the Silver Legion. His membership size is moderate, but his enthusiasm for Huey Long's ideal is unsettlingly enthusiastic. Pelley has come with a request for money to take on the evangelical and patriotic tour of America to gather supporters for the American Union States. This proposal would imply to Huey's followers that he supports the fledgling Christian identity movement, which clashes with his personal distaste for political ideology of Klansmen and prohibitionists. How shall we respond? Of course, more loyalists are going to be good for us. And also, we're going down the Pelley path. So you kind of need to have the support of Pelley, I would imagine. Okay, Chief of Air Force. Go air superiority. Is it actually giving us these positions? It actually is. That actually saves you a lot of political power. And a deadline looms. It's only a matter of time. Does it actually say in here when that actually fires? It does not. How many people are in southern Texas? 4. We want to go North Carolina next. But I already feel like our position, it's looking pretty good, I would have to say. I'm liking where we're at. And New York City apparently has immediately fallen to the CSA. Just immediately. Like, no time at all. But the war has begun. We are at war with literally everybody. And it's time for Purple Army to immediately begin advancing, I think, as aggressively as possible. I'm actually going to send units straight to Denver. And Blue Army, also, you just attack as aggressively as possible. There's actually, there's nobody around here. MacArthur has chosen the worst plan, which is not too surprising. Also, that's a lot of military factories. We're going to go 5 on you for now. Give me 3 on light tanks. Give me 4 on fighters. Give me... not carrier close air support. Give me 4 on close air support. Give me 3 on total artillery. I'm going to put you on the top of the list, or you at the bottom of the list. Give me 1 on support equipment for right now. With 3 more factories. Give me 2 on motorized. And we're going to double weapons. There we go. We could deploy more units. Militiamen. They're not very good. We have a regular infantry brigade. I don't actually know if we do. We have national infantry. I'm going to make sure we're going to set you to the default symbol. And if I was to make you into a 20 combat with, I mean, we're going to be down 1,000 guns, but I honestly think this is completely okay. Canada has moved their way into New England. We can deal with that later. Yeah, but without New England, basically, MacArthur is not long for this world. And Chief of Navy, I literally don't think we care. Whatever gives me better submarine. I mean, max range isn't bad. Yeah, actually, give me max range. I think seems okay. So what do we want to do next for our army? We got organization, attack, and defense of core territory. I mean, I think core territory is literally... Actually, no, it's not the entire country, because you have to do the events where you try to core everything. Recovery rate plus 1%. More organization and more attack. You're like the tank guy. Honestly, we're going to go for Devers' reform plan, because I kind of think artillery is going to be a little bit better for us. And of course, we do have the rifle presidents, which is 20% speed, 20% organization, more recovery rate. That lasts until the 18th, so we only get a few months of it, unfortunately. St. Louis is in control of the federal government. And the Chaco Brigade arrives. From a small nation of Paraguay comes the brave Chaco Brigade, named as a disputed area, which caused a war fueled by greed and denounced by the Kingfish publicly here in the States. Folks of Paraguay regard him as the only foreigner they see to see the truth behind that war and to tell things the way they are. Law's popularity only kept rising in the past 2 years, and news of the coup against democracy has outraged the Paraguayan populace, and many thousand decide to lend a hand. Did we get a free unit? Looks like the answer is no. We do start off, because we are the American Union State, we have basically all of America's oil. And because we have all of America's oil, that should give us an advantage, I would have to say. I don't know if we're going to get any volunteers, but I think that's okay. I don't know if we need volunteers right away. Okay, where do we want to get troops? We got you in 2 more days. Got 2, 3, 4. I'm going to go 4 down in southern Texas. And you guys are going to immediately deploy your way over to purple. Just make your way over there as fast as you possibly can. Our Air Force should cover Blue Army. You will do interception, air superiority. You are going to do close air support. There we go. Yeah, support Blue Army for now. We are engaging immediately with CSA divisions, but I think that's okay. I'm not too worried about it. Denver's already fallen to our forces. Of course, the big victory here is Washington, D.C. And I bet you I could actually march my way to that city right now. I mean, Richmond is worth 8 victory points. It's not bad. I think it's, nice for us to have. And keep the push here. St. Louis is worth 20 war score. And the War Powers Committee. Business leaders within our territory have formed a committee ostensibly in support of Huey Long. in order to coordinate the war effort on behalf of the so-called War Powers Committee. Just like Huey Long himself created offices to handle the monumental task of fighting for America, so did the industrialists to take it upon themselves to create an industrial institution. Though they do not have the power that they were promised, they have declared themselves the arsenal of the American Union State, and are led by, controversially, the anti-Semitic but respectable General George von Mosley. Well, 5 more factories, and authorized fire bombings. With the success of the strategic bombing during the Weltkrieg, a proposal to the USAAF has reached high command. In it, it is described how they utilize the budget to create a separate group of bombs, with a special chemical mixture that can be used to start huge fires upon landing, with the idea of utilizing these bombs on American soil against our enemies. While this would yield great effect, hindering our enemy's industrial capacity, the ethical implications of utilizing such inhumane weapons of destruction has made many members of the staff relentless subject, as these bombs might end up easily hitting civilians unintentionally. So what do we want to do with these bombs? It's a negative 5% factory repair speed. That's actually garbage. So we're not going to do it, just in case there's any greater implications. I don't know if there will be. Washington has fallen. Move our way down south, move your way back up. Yeah, MacArthur sucks. He's done terribly. You do need to take, you want to take St. Louis as soon as we possibly can. Santa Fe is worth 2 victory points. We might as well get it. But aside from that, do you have any other major cities? I mean, yeah, St. Louis, but I think that literally might be it. Panama joined the Entente. 4 divisions. Congratulations, you're getting assigned over to here immediately. And then following that up, we're not going to push a Syndicalist yet. Soon, but not quite yet. I'm gonna wait until we've at least, I'm looking at this situation now. What's a core territory? Your core. Your core. You're not. New York City is also not core. I think St. Louis, I don't know if taking St. Louis is gonna be enough to kill MacArthur. Okay, yes it is. They're already dead. Very cool, very cool. So we're gonna basically take this territory. I mean, like, honestly, I kind of feel like I deserve all of the land, but we're gonna split it up like this. It thinks that you deserve this. I mean, as far as the game's concerned, I should literally have everything, and you know what? I will take everything. If they want to give me all this stuff, yeah. I mean, this is what the game considers to be the equitable territory distribution here. So, I'm not going to argue with the game. If it thinks I should have all this land, I'm going to take all this land. I'm going to get purple. Well, here's my thinking, right? If I just don't defend the northern territories, I'm not going to even defend this part of the country either. We're really just going to completely push against the Syndicalists, kill them as quickly as we possibly can, and then move our way to deal with the Pacific States. How long does this last? Does it say? July 22nd? I mean, I think MacArthur lasted literally a month. Which is hilarious to me. Give me some more light tanks. I know we don't have any in deployment right now, but it should be okay. The press resist. I'm not even going to spend my political power on that, honestly. I don't think right now it actually makes sense. So delete your line. Your line now should be primarily pushing your way over towards the north. Purple line, I want you moving your way straight to Chicago. And the Silver Legion. Along the way, during the national tour, William Pelley came into contact with radio preacher Herbert W. Armstrong in order to raise an army for the American Union State in favor of what they see as a moral war. They have officially combined their beliefs to form the Pelley-Armstrong line. This has swelled the Silver Legion up to tens of thousands of members from all across the country, and reports of their speeches have come in. In conclusion to the strongly anti-Catholic and pro-segregationist rhetoric of these speeches, the promises that are said to come from Huey Long in favor of almost extraordinary wages for whites and benefits for veterans after the Civil War. These have entered the rumor mill that there is nothing we can do to stop these promises from spreading. So thank you. Oh, 7 free divisions. I will take you. Oh, we actually have a ton of more units. You are an extra 12. For now, I will send... I don't even know where to send you. Actually, I know. I'm going to send you right here. And we're going to have you blitz your way to Chicago. I think that should be basically all the troops we need. I'm going to send you up to Chicago, build up a line, immediately go to early mobilization. And what are you guys doing? Are you pushing against the red militias? Which is a 20% organization penalty. So our unit should be relatively effective against them, I'm hoping. So Purple Army, I think I want you pushing in as soon as you possibly can. Again, I'm just going to let the AI move their way into... Oh, no, not Minnesota, not Montana! I'm just going to let them take that stuff. We should be okay. You guys here, we're going to have you assigned into purple as well. Make sure you're under the Field Marshal. And then we're going to get South Carolina. But I think, at least for right now, this is going to be a good time for us to end this episode. So thank everybody for watching. My name is If you enjoyed, my thumbs up. Not enjoy, could always thumb down. You want to subscribe, and goodbye.